We usually start our deep dives by looking at a scary monster. We look at a ugly curse with too many teeth and no hearts. But today we are going to look at a hero. We are going to look at the face of Jujutsu Kaisen. His name is Satoru Gojo. To the normal world, he looks like a god walking among men. To the villains, he is a living, breathing nightmare. He has bright blue eyes and a power that has no limits, but if you look a little closer, you will see a different story. You will see the sad truth about the strongest man in the world. He is the most lonely human being on the entire planet. Imagine being so strong that nobody can even touch you, and I'm not just meaning nobody can punch you in a fight. I mean, no one can touch you in a literal physical way. His main power creates a wall of empty space all around his body. It is a barrier that never goes away, not even for a second. He can see you standing right in front of him, but can hear the words that you are saying to him. But he can never truly feel the warmth of another person. He holds the title of the strongest in the Jujutsu world. But that title is actually a death sentence for his social life. The hidden truth is that his cursed powers are not just weapons, they are physical walls that lock him inside his own mind. Let us decode the dark side of the terrible loneliness. Let us look at what his power actually means. Gojo's base power is called limitless. It works by bringing the math concepts of infinity into the real world. When he uses his power to attack, he creates something called blue. Blue is a cursed technique, lapse. It creates a negative space in the real world. The universe hates negative space, so it tries to fill it. This creates a massive, violent pull of force. It acts like a giant magnet or a black hole. It pulls everything around it into a single spot and crushes it. But let us look at the dark psychological of blue. It represents Gojo's deep desire to pull people close to him. He wants to draw the world in because he is so isolated. But his power is absolute, that it destroys whatever it touches. He cannot just gently pull a friend into a hug. His gravity is so heavy that it crushes the people he wants to protect. This is why his students can never truly stand right next to him. If they get too close in his world, they get sunk into danger. Blue is the tragedy of wanting to connect but only knowing how to destroy. It is a crying child pulling a toy until the toy breaks in half. He draws all the attention, all the curses, all of the fear towards him. But in the end, Blue leaves nothing but a crushed, empty space. He pulls the world, but it cannot hold a single hand. If Blue is the pull, then Red is the violent push. Red is a curse technique reversal. To make it, Gojo has to use positive curse energy instead of negative curse energy. This is incredibly hard to do, and it requires a reversal curse technique. When he uses red, he creates a massive ripple force. It takes reality, violently shoves it away from him. It creates a giant shockwave that can blow away entire buildings. But what is the hidden truth behind red? Red is his defense mechanism against pain of the world. When people get too close to his heart, he pushes them away. He pushes away the terrible rules of the Jujutsu elders. He pushes away the heavy expectations of his family's clan. He pushes away villains so they cannot hurt his students. But the tragic part is that Red pushes the good things away too. His incredible power forces everyone to keep their distance. They look at Red and realize he does not actually need them. He is the one-man army who can blast away any problem. That makes the people around him feel completely useless. Red is a physical form of his emotional walls. It says, stay back. I will handle this all by myself. And because he handles everything by himself, nobody ever checks on him. They assume the god pushes away things and never needs to be held. Now we must talk about his ultimate attack, Hollow Purple. This is what happens when he smashes blue and red together. He combines the extreme pull and extreme push at the exact same time. The math of the universe cannot handle this contradiction, so reality simply breaks. It creates an imaginary mass that rushes forwards and deletes everything. It does not just cut you or burn you, it erases you from existence entirely. But look at the terrible psychological meaning of Hollow Purple. It is a perfect symbol of Gojo's entire life. When you mix the deep sadness of blue with the anger push of red, you get nothing. You get a giant empty void that destroys everything in its path. Hollow purple is exactly what Gojo feels like on the inside out. He is imaginary God living in a real, painful world. When he fires purple, he is projecting his own empty heart out into the world. He deletes his enemies, but he also deletes the ground he stands on. It is a move that leaves absolutely nothing behind. No bodies, no blood, no history. Just a smooth, empty canyon of missed reality. This is the ultimate tragedy of being the strongest. Your greatest achievement is the ability to make things stop existing, including your own happiness. Let us look how he achieves his ultimate power. To use a domain expansion, a sorcerer must have to use hand signs. These signs are based off of old Buddhist magic and deep religion. Almost every sorcerer in the series uses two hands to make their signs. They interlock their fingers to show the connection of their soul, but not Satoru Gojo. Gojo only uses one hand. He crosses his middle finger over his index finger. This is the hand sign of Ira, the king of the gods in ancient myth. The hidden truth of this one-handed sign is heartbreaking. It shows his total arrogance. Yes, but it also shows his total absolute separation from humanity. He does not need two hands to weave his reality. He does not need anyone or anything else to balance his soul. He stands completely alone, functioning without half of the effort of a normal person. Even the way he uses his curse provides that he is on an island. The one-handed sign is a visual flex for his enemies, but it's also a sad reminder to his audience. He has no partner to hold his other hand. He is the king of the gods, weaving curse by himself in the dark. His power is perfectly self-contained and perfectly lonely. We must talk about the physical horror of his special eyes. He has the 6 eyes, which feed him constant, endless data. He sees the atoms and curse energy of everything around him. This amount of information is like poison to a human brain. If he did not have a trick, his brain would literally fry and melt. To survive his own eyes, he uses reverse curse technique. He is constantly destroying and healing his own brain cells. Every single second of his life, he is rebooting his own mind. He runs his brain hot, burn it out, and heals it instantly. He never gets to stop. Even when he's asleep, this horrible cycle continues. He is a computer running at maximum capacity forever. Imagine the mental exhaustion of healing your own brain every second. It creates a terrible feeling of brain detached from reality. It makes the world feel like a fake simulation. This constant healing is why he sometimes acts crazy and unhinged. His mind is a war zone of destroyed and rebuilt tissue. He pays for his godlike powers for a permanent silent headache. He is literally breaking his mind just to look at the world. But what happens when that god uses too much power? After he uses a domain expansion, he experiences curse technique burn out. This means his brain overheats so badly that his curse turns off. His infinity shield drops. The invisible wall finally goes away. For a few short moments, Satoru Gojo is just a normal, vulnerable human. Anyone can walk up to him and touch him. Anyone can stab him with a regular knife. The hidden truth is Gojo secretly loves and hates this feeling. He hates it because it means he can actually die, but a dark part of him loves it because it's the only time he feels real. Burnout is the only time the heavy burden of infinity is lifted. It is the only time the glass between him and the world is shattered. During his fight with Sukuna, he pulls himself into a burnout on purpose. He destroyed his brain and healed it just to keep fighting. He was gambling his life just to feel a thrill of being fragile. Burnout is a terrifying risk for a sorcerer, but for Gojo, it is a brief, beautiful reminder of what it means to be human. It is the closest he ever gets to feel normal. When his infinity drops during burnout, he is in extreme danger. To survive against Sukuna's attack, he uses a trick called a simple domain. Simple domain is a basic old school technique for weak sorcerers. It creates a tiny invisible circle of safety around the user's feet. It neutralizes the enemy's attack as long as you stay inside that circle. Seeing the giant Satoru Gojo using a simple domain is shocking. It is like seeing a billionaire fighting for pennies in the dirt. But the psychological of this moment is brilliant. When his godlike power fails, he is reduced to the most basic human defense. He shrinks his entire world down to a tiny circle of survival. He crosses his arms and tries to endure the pain. This shows us that the scared little boy hiding inside the god. When the infinity is gone, he is just a man trying not to get cut into pieces. He uses a technique meant for the weak because in that moment, he is weak. The simple domain is a desperate attempt to hold on to life. It provides beneath all the arrogant smiles and the hollow purples, he really truly wants to live. He will use the dirtiest, most basic trick to stay in his world with his student. Now we look into his ultimate trap, the infinite void. This is his domain expansion. When he traps you inside, he does not crush you with gravity, he hits you with everything. He forces every piece of information in the universe into your brain. You see the history of the world, every grain of sand, every star. It is so much information that your brain completely shuts down. You are paralyzed by the weight of the absolute knowledge. This is the exact curse of his 6 eyes, weaponized against you. He is the only person who actually lives inside this domain every day. He sees the all of the time. The hidden truth of the infinite void is that it is a cry for empathy. He is forcing his enemies to see exactly what he sees. He hopes someone will finally understand why he is so quiet and detached inside. He is saying, look at how loud my world is. But nobody's brain can survive the void. They just freeze and die. So nobody ever understands him. His greatest weapon is just a mirror of his own daily mental torture. To understand the tragedies of his power, we have to look back at Satoru Gojo. Before he unlocked his reverse curse technique, he could not run his shield forever. He used to turn his infinity off when he was safe. Back then, Geto could toss him a soda and Gojo could catch it. Geto could literally touch him, but after the brutal fight with Toji, Gojo had a near-death experience. He figured out how to heal his brain and run his shield 24/7. He became the untouchable god he is today. And the very first thing that happened was his best friend left him. Gojo's evolution pushed Geto into the shadows. His bright, infinite light created a dark construct that ruined Geto's mind. This is the ultimate moment in his character. The exact moment he mastered his power was the exact moment he lost his humanity. He gained the ability to manipulate space, but he lost his only equal. He built the perfect wall to keep his enemies out, but accidentally locked his best friend on the other side. From that day on, he was truly the strongest and truly alone. Because he lives in a lonely, high-pressured state, he wears a mask. Not a physical mask, but a psychological one. He acts like an annoying, arrogant clown. He makes stupid jokes and eats sweet cakes. He acts silly so normal people would not be terrified of his terrible power. If he was serious all the time, his students would run away from him. But during the final fight with Sukuna, the clown mask finally came off. He found a monster who could actually touch him. Sukuna pushed him to the edge of death and forced his infinity to break. For the first time in 10 years, Gojo felt the cold sweat of fear. He felt the agonizing pain of a cut. He was smiling like a maniac because he finally felt like a real person. He was no longer the lonely god of Jujutsu world. He was the sorcerer fighting for his life in the dirt. He threw blue, red, and purple with pure, desperate joy. Because one beautiful hour, he actually had a challenge. He was not alone at the top of the mountain anymore. Then came the world-cutting slash. Sukuna figured out how to target the actual space that Gojo existed in. He bypassed the Great Wall of Infinity in the exact moment that Gojo was cut down. Something beautiful happened. Satoru Gojo was finally whole. The invisible barrier that ruined his social life was destroyed. He was touched by another being. He was reached across the great, lonely divide. This is why he was smiling in an afterlife airport with his old friends. He was not angry about losing the big fight with the King of Curses. He was happy that he did not have to be the strongest man alive anymore. He finally uninstalled his godhood and passed the heavenly torch to his students. His powers were a cage made of blue, pull, red, push, and a purple nothingness. But in death, the cage finally swung open. He was the strongest, he was the loneliest, and in the very end, he was finally Satoru. The truth is often scarier than the cold, cursed tricks on the screen. But hey, that's just another deep dive for another day. Bon Kai.